guys, and welcome back to another episode of the ArtistnMore Xperience, the show where we dive into the mindset, experiences, and cultures of some of the most influential artists, creators, and achievers. Now, with me today, I got someone who I'm very familiar with, and I'm actually quite excited about. He is a multi-instrumentalist, a composer, a producer, and he is also someone who I've worked so closely with. He's played with some of the most top artists all around. He's gigging everywhere. And he's actually, to be honest, one of the coolest guys ever. So I wanted to introduce you to Mr. Alex Bencio, my man.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming, man.
That's all right.
Yo, man, honestly, this year's been crazy, man. I know you've been doing some amazing stuff, man. Big congratulations on your guitar loop, man.
Yeah. Thank
amazing,
you. That
man.
was just one of those things that has popped into my mind because I was just like, I use all these different types of loop packs all over. And then it kind of started when like a couple of people kind of just hit me up and were like, do you have loops or anything? And I was like, no, but I can make them. And so my last, I think during COVID, maybe about April, May, I got hit up to do these loop packs. And to me it was kind of weird because it was like, loop packs? Really? Like, just play it yourself. You know what I mean? But then I realized it's like something people actually need. So I was like, screw it, I'll just make my own. And I've been blessed, like, ever since I dropped them, like, at people around just buying them. And, you know, when I get them back, it's crazy because, like, they've just changed it, they've spliced it, they experiment with it. And it's, super big blessing, but I'm glad it's out there.
That's awesome.
People are using it. That's the main thing.
That's awesome, man. We'll definitely leave a link to it in the comment section below, so you guys should definitely check it out. So, bro, tell me about the whole process when it came to that, because you have so many, it's fit for almost every single genre. So I know that when it came to that, people were asking you about that, but tell us about the process of making it. Like,
so there was three. There's three loop packs. There's an electric one where it's all just electric guitar chords. The second one is all acoustic guitar chords. And the third one is just a bunch of the lines that I usually use on people's tracks. And the guitar chord, the electric guitar chord one was, it was the first one I made, and that took like a month. And I don't know why, because I split them up into dry signals and wet signals, so I was spending a lot of time just like fiddling with effects. And not only that, it was kind of just like, I had to think of the right chord progressions and that people would actually use, and that it's possible for them just to take a loop, split it up, and just give them ideas or whatever. And so a lot of thought went to each loop, I guess. And so that one had 30 loops but 60 files, because there was about all these effects on the other 30. And so that one took about a month, because also it was the first one I was making. So it was a bit like, I don't know the process. And I remember like the first, I made like 4 or 5, right? And I was like, sweet, you know, I'm getting through this. And then I realized like, they didn't even loop perfectly when I looped them, so I was like, I'm gonna start again. Like, what the hell? And so, you know, you learn from your mistakes. And then, I quickly also learned, like, it had to be processed at a certain level to sound great. Like, anyway, a lot of trial and error. That was the process of the first one. By the time the second and third loop packs came around, I made the last one in about 2 days. So I just pumped a lot of hours within 2 days. And and then I just pumped it out. It's crazy, man. It was a crazy experience because it was also just like all these other things. I was doing that just on the side. And then meanwhile just trying to work on all the other client work and all of that as well. So it was a bit nuts. But I'm glad it's out there.
Man. And you also have a guitar workout as well that you're doing to help out with other guitarists, which is pretty awesome.
Man, a lot of the stuff I'm bringing out is very meme-worthy. It's just funny stuff, man. I don't even, half the time I'm like, I don't even know why I'm releasing this. Like, for me, it's like if I watch it like 5-10 years down the track, I'm just going to be like, I'm an idiot. What am I doing? But I think the mindset of that one was kind of like, when I was a kid, there was this guitar workout that someone gave me on a VHS, right? And it was an hour long, and I couldn't do it. Like, it was too hard. His name was Frank Gambale, and it was from the 80s. It was funny. He had this whole 80s get up. He had like 2 guitarists behind him, like an aerobic workout, right? And then he was like playing guitar, and it was like, all right, we're going to do the major scale. And it's like, and it was awesome, but it was really fast. For me, I was a kid, and you had to do it 8 times, right? In the middle of the 8 times, and he's like, doing the major scale. And he's like, look, even these models can do it. And these girls in bikinis are holding guitars.
Oh,
and just like, bro. So, when I was a kid, even as hilarious as that was actually like one of the hardest workouts I had to do in terms of practicing when I was a lot younger. And I got the idea of just, just making somewhat funny videos, but just having a very functional purpose of like, we're just going to focus on this and then give you time to figure it out. Because it takes time. You've got to figure out the whole thing first, and then you got to play along with it. And then if you can play it up to speed, happy days, right? And then if it's under your fingers, like that's the whole point of the videos, right? But at the same time, I'm being an idiot like most of the time, which is fun for me.
Nah, that's cool, bro. Because you're pretty much incorporating what you saw when you were a kid. Bringing that fun into it, but at the same time, you're like, we're here to work.
100%, bro. Always here to work, but you just gotta have fun. Gotta have fun all the time, man.
That's awesome, bro. That's really, really cool. So, bro, let's talk about 2020, man, because I know it's been hectic, bro. Honestly, there's so much that's been happening. Like, for you personally, with everything that's happening, like, how have you been navigating through this year? What's been up?
2020 was funny, man. So at the start of the year, I was working at a high school for the last however many years. So I was a full-time high school teacher for quite a while. And while I was a high school teacher, I was trying to manage doing all the gigs at the same time and working with artists. So it was a pretty crazy life. I got married in February 2020. So thank you, man. Appreciate that. And after that, I had to make the decision of kind of just like, do I keep trying to pursue this music thing or do I just keep going on with my job? And I was after married, right? And then like, my wife's the best. I was like, I want to quit, and do music. She was like, sweet. And there was like a 2-minute conversation. I was like, mad. So here we are, bro.
That's a surprise even for me, man. Like, I don't know, there'll be a full-on lecture.
And I mean, like, she's always been crazy supportive anyway. So I think like from the foundation of just all of that, going into full-time working here at Messiah Studios and just working with different people, it's been crazy. In a way, a blessing as well because I guess with all the gigs kind of just vanished, which sucked, but whatever. I'm blessed to still be able to work at the school if I need to as a casual. But for the most part, I think because everyone was kind of just itching to do things, I've been lucky enough to get enough clients to get me through that rough period of time. I think I got out in April, and I think May, June, July were like really scary months for me because I was like, got none of that stable paycheck no more. But once after July, August, and things were calming down a bit, then it kind of just blew up, and then it just kept going. And as of right now, I'm working on like two EPs, and all these singles are coming through, and and just a whole bunch of other random musical work. You know what I mean? And so it's been a blessing in a lot of ways for me. Honestly, this has been a good year for me. But for a lot of people, I know they've struggled just through anything. Could be financial or just their situation. But I'm a pretty positive person. I have this thing where I just feel like everything just always works out for me. I don't know what. But this year was kind of just like sort of proved it. Like I quit my job and I'm still doing like all right. You know what I mean? So I was just like, well, all right. I was mad.
Nah, bro, that's awesome, man. Because a lot of people would be like, I quit my job. I quit my job.
And there's like,
I quit my job. So
1 week later, like, gotta go back to my old job. And it was great. And I had a lot of times during those 3 months where I was like, why did I do that? You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot of a mental battle for sure. But I think like once you if you know what you're doing, I guess like you just keep pushing through with what you believe in, and eventually like things kind of just work out. As long as you put the hard work in. It's not too bad.
That's awesome,
it's not too bad.
Definitely.
Been a good year, very challenging one, but I wouldn't have changed it for me personally. Awesome. So it's been good.
That's cool, bro. That gives a lot of hindsight to a lot of people that even though the year's not ended yet, there's still a lot we can still get out of it.
100%. 100%. And even though like all these things get taken away from you, it's kind of just like an opportunity to do something else. You know what I mean? This year I've seen so many podcasts come up, so many people started small businesses, and a lot of people just thought differently. You know, they were a lot nicer to each other, and a lot of people were just more sympathetic and empathetic about many different situations. And yeah, it's crazy. People have changed, definitely, and everyone's situations have changed.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think for the most part, everyone's being a little bit more positive too, and they kind of know coming out of this that everything's just going to be better.
For sure.
So, at least the people that I'm around, like, you know, yeah. But I'm lucky to have all the people that are around me just to do this. Like, I wouldn't be able to have this career if it wasn't for all the people that I work with. So, yeah, definitely a crazy year, but I'm super blessed to have everything that I have.
100%, man. 100%. Yeah, for all you people out there, like, we should definitely keep in mind that, look, like, at the end of the day, it's what you make of this year that makes the most important. And in the end, whatever you do, as long as you have that mindset to drive and focus, you know, you're going to get through. You definitely
can do anything.
100%.
Almost.
Yeah, man.
Except fly and backflips. Yeah.
Oh, man. So I wanted to kind of explain, like, because, bro, you're a sensational musician, man. Like,
Thank you,
just
man.
tell us about the background to all of that. Like, when did you start? When did that whole love for music come in, and when did you realize you wanted to do it full time?
I think for a lot of people, it's almost the same story, right? Like, you grow up around it.
Yeah.
Like, especially from even when I was a kid, my mom was like running choirs and stuff, going to church every weekend. And you see different choirs, you see different musicians. And even at the time, I was like, yeah, mad. That's cool. Like, whatever. And I didn't even think I was going to get into music, to be honest. There was one night I was bored, right? You know, I was finished up playing my PlayStation. I was like 8 years old or something.
Yeah.
And I was bored out of my mind. And my mom was just playing guitar, right? And I was like, can you just teach me? And so she taught me like an A chord, a D chord, an E chord. Nailed it the next day. And I was like, this is so sick. And my mom was like, whoa, that was fast. And then, so yeah, she just kept teaching me some stuff. And then eventually she was like, I got nothing else to teach you.
Wow.
And so, you know, we didn't have a lot of money for lessons or whatever, but the internet saved my life, right?
Thank God for the internet.
Thank God for the internet. I learned a whole bunch of tabs. And I couldn't read music properly until like I did music later in high school. And yeah, it just became a huge love. Like, and not even just particular to guitar. I was playing guitar all the time because that was the only instrument I had, right? But it was just, I just loved the whole idea of making music. And so when I got my hands on a bass and when I got my hands on a guitar, still trash at keys, but whatever. It was just, making music was really fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No matter what you're playing. So even these days, I play bass and guitar professionally for a lot of different artists. And I get this question all the time, and they're like, would you rather play guitar or would you rather play bass on gigs, right? And I'm like, I don't care, just whatever you want me to play, I'll just play it. Because I genuinely love just making music, right? Like, it's just fun. And the same with this production, it's mad because like I have control of where everything goes, and I just have a lot of thoughts in my head, and I can just vomit it all in a session. Like, it's mad, right? And that's the same thing goes for all these different genres of music. Like, I love it all, right? Like, I'll play a full heavy hip hop R&B gig somewhere, and then I'll listen to the classical radio on the way home because my ears are tired. Like, yeah, and so just over the years, it's just grown from just the love of making all different types of music and appreciating everyone's, I guess, their journey through music too, which is, you know, pretty insane. Like, some kids, especially Asian kids, man, they get forced into playing piano and violin from like, you know, out of the womb. Like, straight out of the womb, they go to violin and just like, and then they just hate it, like, afterwards, you know what I mean? And then there's some people that just, they pick it up when they're like 15, and then they just love it. You know, everyone's careers is like so different. But that turning point of wanting to do it professionally was probably by the end of year 12. You know, you have to make that decision. You're like, I was going to do architecture, bro.
Oh.
Like, yeah, because I really like drawing and stuff. And then in hindsight, it was probably a good idea I didn't do architecture. It looked really hard. And I'm like, oh. Anyway, that conversation with my mom, I was like, I'm going to be a musician. Oh my God.
I can imagine. Oh, okay, back even in an African household, man.
Yeah,
they
bro,
just tell
man.
them.
Any household here, you're like, oh, I want to play music full time as my job. Oh man, if I had a kid, I'd probably have the same reaction too, right? What are you doing? Like, that's just stupid. Anyway, and my parents are mad though. They're like, they trusted me. They're like, as long as you're happy and you know what you're doing, right? And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, I'll do it. Like, mad. And I did it. I went to a music uni. It was pretty good. And then you slowly realize, like, the uni will teach you things, but the reality is, like, the whole industry is, like, out there, so you kind of have to be a part of it, too. I always thought of myself as a late bloomer when it came to the whole industry, right? And even when I was in uni, I was like, I don't know if I can do this full time. It looks hard, you know, because there's all these monstrous musicians out there.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know I was going to do music full time until after I even finished the degree. I mean, that's the same reason why I went into education, right? And education has been like a super huge blessing for me. It's afforded me all the things I've been able to get, you know, car, house, and wife. No. Bought her on eBay. No, like, just all those things was a super huge blessing. And so while I was deep into doing education, even still then, that was only like 3 years ago, right? Wow. And then 3-4 years ago, heavy into education. I was a teacher. I ran the music department. And I still didn't think I'm going to do like music full time. And so it must have been 2018 where I was like, I felt like I knew enough people and I felt like my production skills was like at a certain level where I can compete at least. Then I was a bit like, yeah, I can probably do it. And then when that switch flip, what's the freaking sentence? When you flip that switch, right? Then you start going on this beast mode because you have this huge self-belief there, and then you start researching into like not even music anymore, right? It's like business. Yeah. Yeah. And so when you're super confident in like your product or your service, then you're kind of like, you just got to learn the business stuff. So from 2018 onwards, I just started going ham on the whole business side of it. And brings us to 2020. I've been able to work with the types of people I work with, and I've been able to get clients of different sorts and do this basically full time. Yeah. You know, so 2018 I think was the turning point for me, for just to really believe in myself, to be like, I can do this like for the next however many years. Wow. So yeah, and who knows, in like 10 years I could probably be doing something super different too. Wow. So
that's awesome.
Who knows?
That's pretty awesome, man. And you talk about the business side of things. I know you now have your own business within that field as well when it comes to supporting artists, you know, to help them find gigs. You know, what was the whole, you know, when did you realize that, oh, this is something I really want to get into, and what was the whole mechanics around building that?
So my main one obviously is under Bencio or Bencio Music. And that one is purely for, I guess, everything to do with production, live music, and education. I do have this other website that I run with a couple of friends that they help find, I guess, students. They link up with venues, and musicians can make their own profile and just offer what they do. And yeah, I am a part of it quite a bit. I wish I could put more time into that, to be honest. But yeah, as a musician, and just talking about business in general, the whole idea of diversifying is super important, right? Because I don't think any musician should anyway live on just gigs or just teaching. And it's super important to diversify. And like, I wouldn't have quit my job if I had only 2 or 3 income revenues, right? Man, this is becoming a full like TED talk on business. I don't even know nothing about business. Damn. All right. And so everything that I'm coming out with is, for me, just trial and error too, because I don't know if the guitar workouts are going to go well. I don't know if my other packs are going to go well. I don't know how long I can gig for, and I don't know if people even like my production. And like, I don't know, right? But all I know is, man, I'm having the best time doing it.
Yeah.
And as long as I know it's at a certain level that I would like, and I know it's something that people need, because that's, I think, the one thing, like, a lot of musicians kind of skip, right? It's like, I know they're providing this awesome musical experience, but it's that balance too, right? And I don't know yet. I don't have the answers. Yeah. So when I work with different artists, I'm like just hoping and pray they go well, because man, there's so many out there, and it's super hard to compete, and you can't just, you know, live on your streams. Oh, that is not a thing. You can't live on just your live shows, and you have to do all these different things. Yeah. It's crazy. And so for artists, I think it's really important. Like, if you're going to grow your brand, then you got to pick up like different sponsorship. You got to work with different companies that's not music related. Like, for example, a friend of mine, Mike Champ, I think does it. Yeah. You work with different clothing companies and you help them out, like through your music and your brand. And so it's, as much as music is tons of fun, it's like, bro, you got to diversify. Yeah. Do some other stuff. 100%. I don't know, like sell real estate or something. Nah, like, yeah, like sell some hamburgers on the side of the street, like sell a lemonade stand. I don't know, but just diversify. It's like super important. And so for me, it's like I do a lot of the back, like behind the scenes work for a lot of artists. And so for me, like I grab my different revenues from say production of all sorts. Mostly guitar and bass tracking for people around the world. Then you can still teach online. You can do heaps of things on the internet, man. It's great. Then the guitar workouts, and then you got the loop packs that just sell behind. And if I need to, I still casual teach at high school just to help out. And it's just, you just have to have so many different things just in case one drops. Yeah. It's like, and I think with 2020, so many musicians were just like, oh crap, all my gigs are gone. Where's that JobKeeper at? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get JobKeeper. Yeah, for sure. Because it could have been an ego thing, maybe. I don't know. I just thought, nah, I'll be right. Right? And yeah, and here I am. I'm all right. Like I said earlier, I think just things work out for me. I don't know what it is. It's just like, yeah. It's weird. But yeah, I thought about it a lot, and as much as I am just do it kind of guy, I do put a lot of thought into things. But I think people just see me and they're like, yeah, I think he just does stuff. You know, and I'm the same. Like, I don't really think about the result it's going to bring in much, but I also don't think about too much anyway. Yeah. All the bad things that have happened in the past. You just take the lessons and you just keep going forward, right? I released the loop packs and then I forgot about it. And then you see your sales, you're like, oh.
It's popping, it's popping.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's really important. Eh? And I know I went off on a tangent, but, yeah, my bad.
That's all good, bro. That's what it's all about. Like, you're sharing that knowledge and you're providing everything that, you know, a lot of people need, because that's what it's all about here.
100%.
Like, we want to be able to
100%.
share that and be able to build that community where people are able to be like, oh, you know, I'm struggling with this. I can come here and I can be able to, you know, link up with somebody, you know, such as yourself, or even other artists and people who know their stuff, or even, you know, as you are, say, you know, still wiggling around and trying to find their way. Yeah, so that's what it's all about. So
100%.
Yeah, so in terms of that, like, what were some of the challenges that you faced, you know, growing up, and also even currently that you have, where you kind of feel like, oh, you're stuck and you can't really get out? Like, what were some of those challenges, and what did you do to get out of it?
So I guess past challenges. When I was younger, not even when I was younger. Like I said, I felt like I was a late bloomer to the whole music industry in Sydney anyway. You know, I didn't know many people, so I obviously didn't gig much, and I didn't work with many people. And whenever I got like the slightest opportunity, I just thought that was like the biggest deal in the world, you know? And you take it as like the best thing that's ever happened to you. You know, I remember getting this one gig, might have been like 2015, 2016, and I was much younger, and I was like, someone messaged me like, hey, you want to do this wedding? It's like $200. Bro, I thought that was like the best thing that ever happened to me, man. And I was like, yeah! And then they gave me a set list. I rehearsed it over and over again. You know, I was playing bass. Yeah. And you know, I get there and it's like seasoned musos and stuff. Like they probably don't care. They're probably pissed that it's $200 just for a wedding, and I'm just like coming in just like full like excited. You know what I mean? And that's kind of, I guess, where it started. You know what I mean? Because it's like you meet enough people, and before that period, I was like, man, I don't know how to break into this industry. And that's the same thing. That's why I didn't think I was going to do music full time, because it was like, for me, like being pretty introverted most of the time.
Yeah.
Disregarding this interview, I'm talking a lot.
Introverted?
Huh? What does introvert mean? Yeah, and so I was like, I don't know if I can do this full time. Yeah. And slowly, I was just like, yeah, please give me gigs. You know what I mean? And I've just been lucky to meet the right people, and just to take every gig that as just a big deal. And when you take all those gigs, and you just take them real seriously, I get not seriously as in like get pissed off when other people play like the wrong chord or something, but you know, show up, be super reliable, just be like mad fun to hang around with, just have fun with all the people that are there, and meet all the people that you can. Just try to jam with you guys back then, anyway, when I had the time. And for me, that was kind of like, whoa, I'm doing gigs. Like, it's crazy. And even though they were just like a $200 wedding gig, or like a $50 house gig at someone's backyard where everyone's drunk as hell, you know what I mean? And I was excited, and there was a period of time where I was just like, this is mad, because like I'm playing music, someone's giving me free food. Like, what? That's crazy. It's unheard of. And that was a huge challenge for me, and I think it was just, I had to get out of my shell more. And I was like, just meet all these people. Then after that, it became this concept of doing it full time. I was like, I can probably do it. All right? And then so you take the steps you need to do to get there. So you meet way more people. You try to, again, this idea of diversifying. I just tried to offer more things that I'm capable of doing, that I know I can do well. And then, up until this point, my challenge right now, obviously, is like understanding the music industry a little bit more. In terms of, again, more of the business side as well. Because it's like, music is very unregulated, you know what I mean? It's like, someone's, for example, this whole beat world, right? Someone's selling a beat for like $20. Other people are selling a beat for like $20,000. You're like, huh? Like, makes no sense. And a lot of things in this music industry just do not make sense, man. It's crazy. And so when people think about the industry, and like people in the industry are like confused. Imagine people in like outside the industry. They're just like, music industry, oh, so you sing. And so, it's crazy, man. Like, so up until this point, my challenges are just, I guess, making the music, meeting the people, and doing the gigs and all that is like almost second nature. It's like tons of fun as well, and I still get to meet a lot of people. But for me, just taking that next step, business-wise, is the brick wall that I'm trying to knock down.
Pretty much, you told about your experiences and being on the road. You've played with some top artists. You work with some amazing people. Just from those moments, like, what were some of the best moments that you took from there? What were the main learnings that you got out of it?
Good question. A lot of stuff, unfortunately, that's, fingers crossed, coming out soon, either early next year or middle. Can't really talk about it yet, unfortunately, because but anyway, like, for example, let's just call it, this awesome thing is gonna drop another artist, and
give us a clue, man.
As Americans. I don't know. But someone I used to listen to as a kid. And I got the opportunity to play their guitar tracks on one of their tracks. So, you know, for me, it's like, whoa! And, you know, you listen to them when you're a kid, and you're like, and now you're like, whoa! I'm playing guitar for this, like, on this guy's track now. And it happened again just through meeting the right people. And fingers crossed that'll come out sometime next year. When that does, then I'll abuse it, and everyone can know. But just say, for example, an opportunity like that was kind of like, whoa, you know, you kind of just like, you don't know how to feel because it's like surreal. You're just like this used to feel so far out of reach.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like they're an arm's length away. You just kind of just have to stretch a little bit more. And I think what I took out of that was like, I feel like even though you're working with, you know, smaller to bigger artists, at the end of the day, everyone's kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's just trying to make dope music.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to build their own brand in a certain way to reach and connect with different types of people. So no matter how big or small you are, like, I shouldn't change my, I guess, my priority or like how much I work, depending on if you're small or big. Like, I want to do my best in both circumstances. And I was a period of time for me where I was like, and I think some musos, if not a lot, deal with this where they're like, I only want to work with the bigger ones, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're worth my time, whatever. Which is, you know, for a lot of guys, it could be like it's worth their time.
Yeah.
And for me, if I'm running this as a business, as long as you set your rates for the product that you give, it's kind of just like, nah, they're buying it, you give it to them the best you can, right? No matter if they're small or big. And if the demand goes up, what do? The rates go up. Yeah, so it's becoming a business. But, and I think the way I'm approaching this, and I've been lucky to learn a lot of these skills through my previous jobs, and just all my research. And again, I'm still learning, man. There's a lot of things I don't know, and I'm kind of just taking it a day at a time. But at this point right now, yeah, it's a lot of the big things I've learned, especially dealing with small to big artists, was just like, it's all the same. And neither the small or biggest should be treated any differently to what you provide.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even though your time and my time is now becoming more important, it doesn't mean you're better. It just means you have to prioritize properly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So yeah.
No, man, that's awesome. So, like, looking at the whole music scene, you having the opportunity to do all these things, like, right now, we know that, you know, there's so much that's going on right now in terms of the struggles with the Australian music scene. But, you know, coming out of this whole pandemic situation, everything that's happening, where do you see the Australian music scene going to? Like, where do you see the community as right now, and where do you see it moving forward?
I think the Australian community is pretty, like, as musicians, as far as musicians go, it's pretty slept on. There is, through everything that I've done, it's a lot of musicians in Australia. I guess the hard part and the things we don't see, even as musicians, is we don't connect with each other enough. Even in Sydney, like, there's just so many scenes that don't, like, talk to each other.
Why do you think
not,
that is?
Not by choice either. It's just circumstances.
Wow.
It's like the circles just happen to be in the circles. And then it could be a cliquish thing, I don't know. Like, I remember years ago, there was like this certain jam session, and people were like, oh no, it's too cliche, they always have the same people, and like people would stop going to them because it just felt like a circle.
Yeah.
And that could be a thing. I mean, this is just from observation, I'm not saying it is the problem. But even if you just look at it on a national level, like, Americans are really good at knowing what music is coming from the east side or the west side or from the middle. Australia's not very good at knowing what's going on in, like, Perth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though there is, like, some amazing musicians in Perth. It's, like, mind-blowing how many amazing musicians are there. And we don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm sure, like, Melbourne has really dope guys. Sydney has, like, Brisbane, even Adelaide. But where, maybe it's just the way the media is, because we're just like, oh, everyone's pointing at LA.
Yeah.
You know? And so we just go there. And the culture here is, I guess, in a lot of parts of the world, is just pointed more to, like, America. Because that's where a lot of them, man, they have so many people.
Yeah.
And it's no one's fault. It's kind of just, well, it could be, I don't know. I don't want to blame people. But Australia just needs to do a better job at just connecting with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you talk to guys and they're like, hey, you know any Australian artists? They'll either bring up a couple of things. They'll bring up the old rock ones from back in the day, like, oh yeah, AC/DC and In Excess and all them. And then you ask about all the artists that are around now. There's people that don't like, that aren't part of the music industry. There's people that just like to listen to music. And they're like, the main ones that people will say will be like, I don't know, Guy Sebastian, Delta, I don't know. But even for me saying, I don't know, I mean, I know different artists here, but it sucks, man. It's like, I should be able to say so much more.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so many bigger ones. And so even, like, my friends that play for Guy and Jess, Bad Boy, Delta, as amazing musicians as everyone is, it's like, we should have many more options of, like, playing with different people and be proud of it, too. But we have so many awesome things that happen in Australia that go slept on. Maybe it's just because, like, we're so far away from everyone. I don't know. Like, Tamworth Festival is dope. There's that Byron Bay Blues Fest, which is mad. Me particularly, like, I love playing, like, for artists and everything. But yeah, I don't know, like, where it's gonna go, but I do hope that Australia does a better job of connecting with each other, rather than focusing all their energy and working with people that's overseas. Like, I know the power of the internet is, like, amazing,
For sure.
but, and it's helped me so much as well, but it's like, man, you got so many dope people in your own country. It's just like, work with those guys.
For sure.
And it's mad. But as a whole, Australia kind of just does need to do a little bit better. Supporting our own people. I don't know how. Again, I don't have all the answers. But I would love to see that. But there's been a lot of instances where I play live music here, and the artists here do pull good crowds, you know, especially during this time where clubs and places can only have a certain amount of people. And it's awesome. So I think people are itching just to get out. And the cool thing is like, blessing in disguise, borders are closed, right? And so it's like, oh, you can't get, you know, Resurrect Tupac and bring him here. Like, it's like, so we can't get, like, awesome people like from overseas anymore here. We can't fill out the stadiums like with, who's famous these days? I want to say, like, anyone from Kendrick to Bruno to Dua Lipa. I don't know, man, I'm just spitballing. But they're usually the ones that come here, fill out the stadiums, and Australians are like, oh yeah, artists, music, I know music, right? I think this is a mad time because it's like, borders are closed. If you want to go see live music, you're watching Australians, man. It's mad.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome. We need more of that as well, because there's not enough, you know, live Australian talent which is on showcase. Even on the radios now, we literally have to push for all these big radio stations to start playing Australian music.
100%.
And a lot of musicians right now are not being supported enough. And even me, you know, speaking to a couple of people, they're like, yeah, we're not getting the support. Like, we're putting out the work, but it's not like, you know, I get it. All of these big guys, big shots from the US, but, you know, what about those in your own backyard, you know, in the community? So, I feel it's definitely something that we need to really push. But in terms of that, you know, what do you think musicians are looking for? Like, what sort of avenues are they really asking for in order to help them to get to those levels?
Musicians here?
Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know, it could be, okay, I feel like, this is my own opinion, but artists here is like, their first go-to dream is to be, you know, a big shot, but an American, like.
Yeah. So not in Australia, they're thinking about the US.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they're the standard.
Yeah, well, it feels like the standard anyway, right? And it's like, because they're so used to, that's what they're seeing, that's kind of their first intention. So they kind of try to mold their path to go that way, which is all well and good, you know, everyone has their own path. But you need to realize, like, music is huge.
Yeah.
Like, freaking huge. You can do so many different things. And I think for artists need to branch out a little more, think differently, and just do something that's just a little bit different to anyone, and provide a source of value. That word, right? Provide a source of value that's different but still effective, just for, you know, your fan base or your future fan base or whatever. Like me, like these guitar workout videos, I didn't just think of it. it was one of those just like, I could just put up videos of me playing guitar and bass and stuff, but at the end of the day, like, you watch it once and you're like, oh, that's cool, bro. At the end of the day, you move on with your life. So I hope to provide value, so when they come back and use that video and actually get something out of it. And as cool as it is to have videos of you performing, you need to do some other stuff as well.
Sure.
So I think for artists here, make dope music. That's like number one. That should be like pretty standard. But work out how you're going to make your marketing different. Work out all the other different types of value you're going to provide. If you are going to be a brand, an artist brand, do other things, right? You don't see, like, Shaq, for example, still playing basketball today. Like, the dude has real estate. The dude has just multiple businesses, right? He's started so many different things and is diversified. And that's what artists in 2020 are going to have to do, because, sadly, just having a dope EP is not just going to cut it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what do you think are the, like, some of the practical steps in which artists today, especially the young guys coming in, because you have so much talent, like a huge pool of talent coming in.
100%.
Like, what do you think are some of the things that they can do in order to incorporate, to get to that stage where they have their music going well, but they also have something which is backing them up?
Yeah, well, I mean, for everyone that's going to be different, right? Like, I don't have all the answers, but what I always do suggest is, like, lean towards the things that you know that you're good at, so you can get great at it, and also things that you're very interested in, right? Like, I'm heavy into basketball, right? And I'm also heavy into just, like, computer tech gear. I'm just super nerdy about it. And if I, hopefully, in the future, like, I would much rather be able to support brands, like tech brands that do, like, music gear and stuff, because that's mad, right? Even outside of that, like, I have some other friends, like, in the music industry, full-time users, but, you know, they have, like, this real estate agency on the side, or, like I was saying before, like the other friends, they just support other clothing brands, doing things like that. I don't know. It's different. That's a hard question to, like, answer, because everyone is just so different. And especially in 2020, everyone's just, like, super different. It's crazy. Everyone just expresses themselves in, like, so many different ways. They're into so many things. But for the young guys, it's like, if you're going to be doing music and then you want to aim to be a brand, you got to nail your music. Like, first and foremost, it's like knowing your alphabet. You just it's got to be back to front. Like, because if you can't do that, then everything else after that, it's going to be pretty average as well. So you got to nail your music. And if they need to nail their music, they can hire me to produce that stuff. Just putting that out there. It's like a little bit of a plug.
Being with that plug, guys. So if y'all looking for,
yeah. So it's hard. That's some hard advice, and I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers to anything. I don't know why you called me here, bro.
But you definitely provided some awesome stuff, man. So I also just want to ask, like, in terms of, for those full-on amazing musicians out there, for you yourself, like, if you guys haven't seen Alex play, please go check him out. Like, all the descriptions will be, he's a freak. How do you balance production, composition, and then playing guitar and bass all at the same time? Like, what is your process to learning and practicing, man? Because, like,
I don't have one. I don't think about it a lot, but I think you do anything consistently, you get better at it, right? So as long as you don't stop, then you'll sort of just keep getting better at it. And there's not really, like, I don't have, like, necessarily a process. So every client that comes in is just an opportunity for me to, like, learn something new in production and then just provide that. When it comes to guitar and bass, I still try and play all the time. Luckily, when I do produce tracks, I'm still playing. Those guitar workout videos has forced me to practice, because I had to record those damn videos. Oh my god! And so it's putting, now in 2020, I have to put myself in a position to make sure that all my chops are always going to be good, right? So whether it's the guitar workout videos, making the loop packs, teaching other people, so I inevitably just always have to be good, like, and I just have to keep that up. Like basketball players, bro. You don't see LeBron being like, all right, I'm just going to stop practicing because, like, I'm awesome. You know?
Yeah.
Like, he still freaking practices every day, and you just hear him in the interviews is like, oh, I got to get better at X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And so that's the same mentality, like, all musicians should have. It's like, man, we're all trash, bro. Just keep practicing.
For
like,
sure.
I still feel a lot of these days. Even my last gig, I was like, oh, I walked out of that gig, I'm like, damn, I need to practice. Like, I am so bad. Like, oh. And
he's not, guys. Trust me.
but yeah, you get those moments, and like, I'm very, what do you call it? I have a lot of battles with myself mentally, right? And so that just means I really don't have time for outside noise, whether it's good or bad. So when people are like, "You're amazing, man," or you know, I don't get that often anyway, but or whether they're like, "That was trash, bro." I don't know. It just doesn't click with me. Like it doesn't.
Wow.
I think it's just because it's like, as long as you're super like well aware and self aware of what you're good and bad at, all the outside noise is just noise. You know what I mean? And it sucks too because it's like when someone says, "Oh, man, your track's dope," I'm like, "Fuck, I wish that like did something for me emotionally. Like I'm just a robot now, man." Yeah. But I think in a way it's sort of good because it's like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just how I'm wired. Like I just don't have time for like outside noise, and so for me it's just like I need to know personally that I need to keep getting better at stuff. So I just don't stop. You know, every single day I'm just like doing something. And whether it's just practicing or whether it's just producing or just reading or just like reading about business or whatever, everything is directed at the same goal though. You know what I mean? To make this damn business work somehow.
Yeah.
What a mission statement. To make this business work somehow. That should be my business model.
That's an amazing motto, man. That's an amazing motto.
Yeah. And yeah. That's I don't have a process, but like all I could say is just never stop and keep practicing, keep doing your thing.
That's awesome, man. So, Alex Bencio, like for you yourself, where do you see your brand and where do you see yourself going moving forward? Let's say within the next 5 years. Where do you see yourself?
5 years. I definitely know. I want this brand to be something a lot more functional. And a lot of guys that I like to watch and I like to look up to. For example, there's one channel on YouTube, Rick Beato.
Yeah.
Stupidly good. Like, that guy's production knowledge and knowledge of gear and theory and everything is just out of this world. And much older guy, but he's still killing it, right? But that's a career that looks like it's got longevity. And so, in terms of the next 5 years, I just want to make sure I'm still on this track of providing value through creating, who knows, like mad guitar workout tutorials or courses, or who knows what the future technology is, man. Hopefully I can make this mad VR crap, I don't know. But just to make sure like I'm consistent with all the three things that I want to be good at. So all the guitar and bass crap, guitar and bass stuff, all the production stuff, and all the education.
Yeah.
And as long as all three of those are just keep going to the next level, I'll be happy. Sweet. And as long as when you see that B or that Bencio logo, it's like, at least I know what that guy's about.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that's why I hope in 5 years, just to make that brand for people to know and be really well aware that I'm not just an artist trying to like freaking model for clothing brands or whatever, but like to provide something that's musically functional and, you know, useful in their life. And who knows, I might pick up something in 5 years. I could be playing, I don't know, saxophone or something.
Nah, bro, that's awesome, man. That's really, really cool.
So hopefully, fingers crossed.
It's all about that value, man. That word again, value. 100%. It's all about that value, man. No, that's awesome, bro. We very much appreciate you coming out, man.
Yeah,
awesome. It's been awesome.
Tell
the people, bro, like what's happening now? What can they look out for?
What's happening now? So I'm currently producing this EP for a girl named Chrissy May. She is dropping all of her stuff, I think, from January onwards. So singles, EP, and then later on an album. Me personally, my guitar workout videos will still come around. The next lot of them next year. I'm aiming at about February release. it's pretty cool, actually. One of my videos, I said, I was just joking. I was like, and this video was sponsored by no one. No one wants to like sponsor me. And funnily enough, it worked. Like I got some companies like to give me gear and stuff.
Oh, that's
videos.
awesome.
I'm like, it worked. Someone loves me. And so I'll be doing a lot more guitar workout videos. I have a personal own 4-track EP I'm doing with a whole bunch of guys. Crazy dudes too, people that I've worked with, like huge artists.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro, my life is just gonna keep vomiting stuff. So if you follow me for whatever reason, you're just gonna be hit with spam. That's about it. It's a lot of clickbait coming your way. So get ready for that clickbait.
Right, it's going to be amazing clickbait, guys. Do follow him, guys. Do absolutely follow him. Check out his Instagram. I'll put all the links in the description. Do check it out, man. He's got some amazing stuff. Almost posting almost every day. So you guys are going to love it. My man, thank you so much for coming in.
Appreciate
Very much
that.
appreciate that, man. You guys, if you enjoyed the episode, do like, do comment, and do subscribe, guys. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Hey, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, why don't you leave a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe.